It's time for the Empowering You Show. This is a lively television show that is a driving force to positive transformation in every viewer's life. Our goal is simple. It is to elevate our audience members with clear, practical, helpful advice and engaging activities. We're here dedicated to sparking a journey of self growth and empowerment, making sure each episode is a step towards professional and personal achievement. That's how we empower you on the Empowering You Show. So get ready, it's time. Hey, 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 it's another beautiful day. It's another beautiful Thursday. And I am so grateful that you are out there watching the Empowering You Show. What is the Empowering You Show about? We are bringing industry professionals, business owners, people doing great things and phenomenal things in the community. And today is no different. Today's guest, well, before we talk about today's guest, let me tell you that empowering you does uplift, does encourage, does engage, does inspire. So if you're watching for the first time, welcome. If you've seen us before, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell so that you don't miss another episode. And now, let's introduce our guest. She is an experienced sales professional with over 24 years of customer service and customer focus expertise. She takes great satisfaction working closely with her clients so that she understands their life goals and needs. And then she delivers tailored solutions just for them. With a strong emphasis in customer service, she consistently provides exceptional technology consulting services. And those services, not only are they exceptional, but they always exceed expectations. She's dependable, she's self-motivated, and she's hardworking, continuously seeking opportunities to learn and expand her skills and knowledge so that she can better serve her clients as well as the community. Help me welcome Olga Davenport. Hey, Olga. Hey.
Hi, how are
How are
you?
you today?
I'm good, thank you.
So good to have you on the show today. I want to know, I want to jump right in. I want
Okay.
to know what you're up to these days. We met some time ago during an event. I'm almost forgetting where we met.
It was
Where did
with
we meet?
Susan, her showing us LinkedIn and how to,
Right. We
yeah,
were both in a training class.
yes, yes.
Right. How important is self-development in your opinion?
It's very important. You have to keep growing, so just to keep up with the times, right? Because everything changes. That's the a constant
Yeah.
in our business and in our lives.
There's,
So yeah,
there's nothing constant but change, isn't that right?
exactly.
So
Exactly.
we were in this class learning LinkedIn. How much did you know beforehand, and did you get a lot of information from the class with Susan Molnar?
Yes, Susan Molnar. Yes. I've used LinkedIn for a long time. But she did have some tricks on how to navigate it, for prospecting tool, right? For a prospecting tool. So it was good. It was good. And it's so funny because my whole company, the
Was
salespeople, all
there?
of us were there, and they're still they're excited about it. They still ask me, they get a little stuck, so we work through it, and yeah, it's good. It's a great tool.
Yes, and speaking of LinkedIn, we teach LinkedIn skills as well at BHS and Associates. But Susan brought a different spin on the analytics that I had not, because I've been using LinkedIn for a long time too. And a lot of people are very comfortable with Facebook and TikTok and Instagram. But if you're a business owner out there and you have not delved into the power of LinkedIn, then you
Yeah.
need to check with us. check with me at barbarasmith.com and set an appointment so we could talk about it, because business to business is done on LinkedIn. So that's where we met, and I was super excited to meet you. We've had a meeting before this one, but
Yes.
I loved that training with Susan, and I'm thinking about taking her next training.
Yes.
So you started something new recently. Right now, you're still in technology, a technology consultant, as I know, but
Yes.
you started something new recently. What was that?
So and I'm doing it part time. I passed my test. So I'm just waiting for my license. So it's for life insurance and there's other licenses I have to get as I continue. But it's just to help people to learn about money, right? Because we're not taught anything about money. I mean,
Unless we learn
in
it from our families, yeah.
yes. And so right. So if your family doesn't know anything about it, you're not going to know anything about money, and it kind of continues. And I wish somebody had if I wish someone had reached out to me when I was younger,
Right.
because when you're younger is when you can really do some serious stuff,
The
right?
power of compounding interest is
Yes,
huge.
it's huge. And so that's all. I'm just trying to get out there and help people get out of this,
You're not trying, you're doing the doggone thing.
gonna do
Let's
it.
be
I'm gonna
clear.
do it. I'm just trying to
Let's
help
be
people
clear.
with their financial house,
Yeah.
because there's a lot of everything, inflation, the economy,
And
and
people
you
just
don't
don't
have
know. They don't have anyone to guide them, like you said about yourself. They don't have anybody to guide
right,
them with their financial
right. And it's
awareness.
not even a big, like, the company I'm with, they don't you don't have to have $250,000 to invest, right? You can
Right.
start with just a little small amount. And if you're younger, again, it you can you should be able to retire with enough income so you can live a long life,
Right.
because social security is just not it's not going to help you. That's why you see older people working at Walmart, because they've been retired 30 years. Well, that retirement 30 years ago is not what you need to live now, right?
Right.
So that's all. I just want to help people, because they helped me. I had I have my kids' student loans, a house. I just got remarried, and we've only had the house for 6 years. I want to retire when in 10 years if I can do it. So they came up with a plan, and I'm going to be able to pay my house off in 8.5 years with not spending anything more than what I'm spending now.
That's
So
great.
it's pretty huge.
Yeah, and the thing is, people don't really understand money and where their holes in their, as my financial planner says, in their buckets. If
Yep.
you're paying for subscriptions that are coming out and you're not using the service, if you're
Yep.
paying high interest rates, if you're buying things, that you don't need just to splurge,
Yep.
all of these things add up, and that's the money, the extra money that doesn't come out of your any extra that you're doing, just seriously looking at what you're spending and
Yes.
navigating, pushing those dollars to something that's going to benefit you. And life insurance vehicles are a very, very good way. Life insurance company, the industry itself is one of the richest in the world. So if they have money, you should know that they know what they're doing with money.
Yes.
So
And
that's great. So how do you find your clients? How do you go about prospecting?
well, so as far as this business goes, it's mostly, you're going to start with your friends and family, right? Those are the ones that they already know you. So, and then we're going to try and do some workshops. I'm going to reach out to some churches and see if they'd be interested in just, putting a workshop together to
Hmm.
help their members.
Hmm.
And I probably will join a referral group type of thing. to just help, because this type of business is definitely a very trust,
Yeah.
right? Trust. You gotta have trust in the person that's in front of you. So I feel like it's mostly a referral type business, where
Word of
someone,
mouth. Uh-huh.
yeah. But let me tell you what's funny. So today, out of the blue, I thought of this young guy that I've known for years. We used to work together, and I got him a job at one of my IT companies. He was looking, whatever. So I just reached out to him today and just asked him how he was doing. And he said, "Wow, I was thinking of you too." He goes, I left my job. I'm at another job now. And, blah, blah, blah. And I said, "Oh, so that's great to hear. What happened?" Anyway, we kind of went back and forth. And at the end, Barbara, he says to me, "Oh, by the way," and he sends me a picture of him and his fiance. He goes, "By the way, I'm getting married." And I was like, "Oh my gosh, I'm so happy for you, blah, blah." And then I said, "Listen, after you get married, I want to come see you guys and talk to you about um, insurance and some financial investments that can help you guys." I said, "Because I wish somebody had done that for me when I was younger," because he's young, So, and you know what? He's like, "Yes." He goes, "I feel the same way. I'll definitely call you." So that's how you do it, right? You just, if you can help someone, and it because I would have never. And I told him that. I said I wasn't even going to mention it because single people don't think about stuff like that.
Yeah, but
But
you'd be surprised how many single people do think about stuff like
yeah,
that.
and I was kind of joking with him on that because
Mhm.
I really didn't reach out to him to do that. I was just, he just popped in my head. So, but no, a lot of people are need help. A lot of
Yeah.
people.
And one of the things I noticed is there's a way to approach them so that they get it without sounding salesy, right? And so
Right.
I love that you created a rapport with him because you already knew him. But I love that you also didn't have fear at the end to ask, because we don't have because we don't ask,
Right.
right?
That's exactly
So
right.
yeah, and so maybe reframing the ask would be helpful for you. And that's what I teach clients to do, how to frame the ask as a question about a general topic. So for
Yes.
example, you provide services, financial services and products that help families. But what if you posed it as a question? If you started with a question like,
Mhm.
what's the problem you solve? If I ask you that question right now, Olga, tell me, what is the problem you solve for families? What's the problem?
Debt.
One,
Getting
debt,
debt.
right?
Yep.
What
Yes.
else?
Financial stability.
Financial
And
stability. Those are two huge right there. So what
yep.
if you posed a question? Here I'm going into what I do with my clients. What if you posed a question? You know how most people are in debt way beyond what they can afford. And what you're waiting for is what you just did, a nod or a yes. So you're waiting once you ask the question. So when you're talking to your friend, your young man, had you said, you know how some people, not talking about them, not talking and directing it at them, the
Mhm.
strategy is the you universal. So
Correct.
you know how people are in so much financial distress today because they're in debt, or they don't know how to save money because they think they don't have enough money. You see how you're doing nod? You wait for the nod. Then you present that you have the solution, or you are the solution. So the
Yes.
second part of the introduction to your business, your new business, would sound something like, well, what I do is help people understand the financial products that are available to them, that they're not going to be spending any more money than they're already spending, but that can help them build a financial future that is pleasing and doable, you
Yeah.
know? So you craft it in such a way that you give them the problem, you give them the solution, and then you tell them why it's going to benefit them. And the benefit is you'll be able to retire so that you have time to retire, so that you have financial stability and security, so that you can save money when you learn how to better position your finances. And that's a sure win.
Yeah.
So I just did walks with you through what I teach with my clients. We're having another one coming up March the 2nd. The details haven't been published yet, but we're doing a brainstorm, a mind mastermind and training on March the 2nd. And so I'm inviting you to come out for that.
Yes.
It's absolutely complimentary. And come out to that and learn more about how to sell you and your company, as
That's a
well as
great.
what things you're looking for in your customers that we can help you learn how to do. So
Yeah.
yeah. So what did you think about that? What did you think about that intro?
I love it. I mean, you're always you want to be coachable and you want to grow, right? So, and it's so nice to just hear another perspective, right, from someone, and you've seen it in your customers, right? They how it's changed their lives, right? So I feel like this is great advice. And
I saw you taking notes, Olga.
yes, oh, I don't do it. I'm not a great fast, fast writer, but I got the points, and it's a great that. Thank you so
You are
much.
so welcome. No, Mark, we're not running the Warrior Within. We're not going to do that again right now. Thank you so much for asking, though. I appreciate it. I want to shout out all of the people who come to the show week after week, even if they see it on the replay. Thank you so much. We appreciate you. You can always go to our YouTube channel, subscribe, tell a friend. We have great information here. We have superb guests, and today's no different. Olga Davenport is from TCI, but she's also doing a little side thing. And Primerica is her secondary business right now. And I'm super excited. What I was super excited about, I hope you told Dan to watch, was that I get a chance to see Dan Roos again. Dan Roos and I go way back. Like I was doing a boutique, and I was part of BNI, Business International, Business Networking International. And that's where I first met Dan some years ago, years ago. And
Yes,
he was trying to get me into Primerica then, but I had sold life insurance way back in the 80s. I'm telling my age
yes,
now, but way back in the 80s. And so that's not really my shtick. I
yeah,
leave that to the financial connoisseurs and gurus. I'm a trainer and a speaker, and I train naturally. That's what I do. So I've learned what my
yes,
lane is, and I stay in my lane. So yeah, but
yes.
Dan and I go way back. At that time, I think he had 10 kids, and now he has 12.
He's 12.
Yeah. And so it was always a big thing at the meeting, and he would talk about his children, and we'd be like,
Oh,
yeah,
yes,
that's like a baseball team. Like, how do
yes,
you get that many people in your house? So
yes.
he
So
has to do something that's financially stable
yes,
in
I was
order
gonna
to
say
take
he
care
needs
of the
to,
children.
and
So
he still has a few at home. So I
yeah.
mean, it's hard to get rid of them when you have that many.
So shout out to Dan Roos and
Yes,
Primerica. He's doing great things for the community and people.
yes,
And I am just honored to know him. And when you brought him on, you said you wanted to bring somebody on. I'm like, I know this guy.
I know. I think. Well,
You're not gonna convince me.
he was very excited when I told him I was gonna meet with you, and we were just talking. Isn't that funny, right? And he didn't tell me that he knew you at that point, but he when we got on the call, he said he thought he knew you.
Yeah, he knew me
And
from
it's been a long time, but he knew
in a
your name
long
for
time.
sure. For
Yeah, a
sure, he knew.
long time. Like
Yes,
at that time, I had long hair.
yes, that's what I'm
Dan,
saying. So
so
That was
So
funny.
he's looking
But
like,
yeah, he's a great guy, and he's very motivating. It is a tough business.
and he's
All
real.
business is tough, but
Honest,
it's
he's real, he's
yes.
personable, he's all of those things. And so
Yep.
you're with a great team. Right.
Yes, I feel that
So how
way.
did you meet Dan?
Well, I didn't meet Dan until I got into Primerica. So um I I joined Kiwanis
Okay.
last year, and this guy, he's a trip. He's a retired lieutenant colonel pilot in Kiwanis, and we kind of hit it off. And he invited me to come out to a meeting in Winchester, Virginia. So we
Wow.
drove. Yes, we drove for however many hours, for 3 hours.
Three,
Yeah,
three.
three. But
I
we
know
left.
where Winchester is. My son was stationed there for a few
Yes.
minutes.
So we drove up there, and it was you know an event that they talked about it. The people that are under him talked about it, and I was, I'm listening to this, and I'm like, wow, so this is what happens when God plans something for you. Because afterwards, he went around and asked everybody what they thought and all that, and I was like, I'm doing it. So, and it's good, and I can do it part time. I work
Have
from
you
home.
had you ever seen the presentation before?
I had never seen the presentation because
Wow.
I told my Kiwanis friend, I said, don't tell me anything about it. Let me just go look at it. And because sometimes, when somebody says it and maybe they don't have the skills to kind of present it the right way, sometimes it gets a little lost in the translation. So
Yeah.
I
It could
wanted to
turn
see
you
it
off
for
too.
myself. Right. And he did tell me, he goes, these are the guys that are really successful, and he asked me to go because I was telling him about my son's student loans, and that he can't pay for them. So, I'm trying to help him out. And it's like, so I kind of got bombarded with all this stuff, but it's okay because
You got a
I can
plan.
do it, and it's led me to this, right?
Yeah, and you got a plan now.
That's right. That's
So
right.
that makes
Like,
all the difference. That makes
like,
all the difference.
yes. Yes.
So so you met, you decided you went to the event, you decided to join up, and then how did you get to meet Dan?
So he was speaking at the
Oh, he was.
event.
He
One of
was.
the
Okay.
He was the main speaker, and he was he's very boisterous and excited, and that helps, right? Because you do want it to be a fun event.
Right.
So that's when I first met him, and now he's my coach. So we go tonight. I'm going over there at 6 o'clock at night, um, to talk to someone that is interested in doing it. So we'll see. One day at a time is
One
how.
day at a time, one client at a time, one prospect
Yeah.
at a time. That's right. That's right.
Yes. So
That's really good. I'm
yeah.
really excited for you. And I hope and pray that this leads you to all of the places and things and the desires of your heart, as well as
Thank
helping
you.
clients, because people are hurting and people are suffering financially. And a lot of people are ashamed to say they are, I was one of those. And
Yes.
so,
I think
yeah.
that's
And
the
so,
biggest obstacle. I think that's the biggest obstacle is that people are afraid, to say it. So, and that's why I'm like a so transparent, because if you don't talk about it, you're never gonna be able to get help, right?
and
So,
even more distressing, I think, Olga, is the numbers of people out here that are not even insured at all.
I know, I know,
They just that's an aside. It's like, well, if I'm dead, I don't have to worry about it. And
right?
that is so painful, because what happens is families get burdened with having to do a
Yep,
GoFundMe page, or they have no idea how they're going to either bury or cremate their loved one because they have no money. They haven't left anything. Even worse than that is not leaving the instructions behind for the person who has to take care of all of it. I recently went through a situation with one of my family members where they didn't know anything about anything that was going on because the person who passed away was the person who did everything.
Yep.
A lot of people don't want to talk about it, but the fact of the matter is we didn't come here to stay. This is not our home.
And
we're going to leave here one day.
That's right. And we get insurance for our cars that there's no guarantee that we're ever going to be in an accident. We get insurance for our homes, and there's no saying that we're ever going to have a fire or, a disaster.
Yeah, right.
Right? We get insurance for a whole bunch of stuff. And the only one that we don't get is life insurance, which is the only guaranteed one that we're going to.
You guaranteed you're going to expire.
Right?
We all got an expiration date. We just don't know when.
We don't know when, but yes, exactly. So, and the way, it's just crazy. I see it and it blows my mind. But again, one day at a time, and hopefully I can reach people that want the help. And
because everybody doesn't want the help.
It can be life changing. It can be
it is life changing, and everybody doesn't want the help. So
no, and I get that too. I get that.
I get it. So the question I want to ask you is, how do you handle the rejection when people don't want it? How do you handle the rejection? What do you do? What is there a process? Is there a thought pattern? What do you do when it comes to somebody saying no?
Well, so the only advantage I have is that I am a little thick-skinned now since I've been doing this for so long. I used to cry when I first started. And now I just respect it and tell them whenever they're ready, I'm here. Because you can't change. You don't want to change somebody's mind because it doesn't stick, right?
Plus, when they're not ready, right?
Yeah, they're not ready.
And no doesn't necessarily mean never. It means not now.
Not now.
And as my coach told me, no means next opportunity.
Exactly.
So not for you right now. Cool. Next.
Yep. Exactly. Yeah, you can't. Here's the thing. You're gonna experience a whole bunch of no's before you get to that yes. So if you're going into it knowing that, I feel it's not as, stressful. Maybe I can see somebody who maybe's never done any kind of sales. Maybe they would probably get a little stressed out. And that's why it's important to have this group behind you, right? Mm-hmm. Have a team, because they do encourage. We meet twice a week. And it's all about encouraging, each other, because some people, it is a lot. And one person that they talk about, it was like 50 no's straight, 50 people. No. But he kept on because they told him, just keep doing it. It's going to happen. Yeah. And as you would get the experience, then you kind of, you realize too, maybe what type of people might want to do it. Like the ones that are married are probably a better candidate than a single person. Maybe not. And you shouldn't not talk to anybody, not talk to them because of that. But just be more prepared that they're probably going to say no, more so than the guy who's married, has 2 little kids, wife doesn't work, that kind of stuff. So you kind of look for a better
fit,
I guess. Yeah.
Better prospect. Well, it's been an extremely wonderful experience having you on the show and explaining to people that it is important to take care of your financial health as well as your physical health, emotional health, spiritual health. Your financial health is important as well. So thank you so much, Olga, for being here today. Tell Dan I said hello if he's not watching. And I wish you all the best in your new endeavors and in your current endeavors. We
Yes,
appreciate
thank
you so much. Hang around in the green room for a few minutes. I appreciate it if you did that.
you.
If you're looking to be on the Empowering You show, you can do that if you just go to support at barbarahsmith.com. We would love to have you on the show. That is support, SUPPORT, at barbarahsmith.com. We'd love to have you on the show. That's our time for today, because you know what time it is. It is time, high time, for you to step into your greatness, because the world is waiting for you. Thank you so much. We'll see you next week.